Hey everyone, welcome to Pickleball and Beyond. My name is Ryan.
My name is Vino.
And today we're looking at the Niupipo Quake. So, certainly coming in, I'm going to talk about the price point right away. I need to hear your thoughts and what this is coming in.
So I've rechecked this, I've checked this, and I looked at our notes from, them that sent it.
Yep.
Right now on Amazon, this is $47.
Yep.
I mean, it's always exciting when you find a paddle that's really a great price, that performs pretty well as well.
Yep, and that's what they've always been known for,
Yes.
right? They're trying to keep the prices low, and they did exactly that with the Quake.
Again, nice paddle. Overall, pretty solid. I mean, I have to say, comparative to lots of the other cheap paddles, where like as soon as you take it, it just feels very cheap. Again, I'm not saying this is premium quality, right? But it's got quality. For me, overall, I think I have only one gripe, the grip. It's very squarish.
Very square grip.
Works for some people, but like
the wrap they put over it though is a pretty nice wrap.
Yes,
so that
yes,
part's nice,
I'll give
but
that
just
part.
the shape
the shape
of it's
itself, it's not the grip itself, it's just more the shape is very square. It's very hard to like find exact details about the paddles online. We'll put a link, we'll put some descriptions. This surface is that 3K carbon fiber. It's 16 millimeter, and the shape is this aerodynamic shape. So we did kind of feel it did play a little bit more maneuverable. Let's start off with how would you categorize this? Minding you, we're going to kind of hop this around. Hey, this is a budget paddle, right? Yes.
I would still characterize this paddle as a control paddle, right? It does have some power to it, but I think at the end of the day, I think the control is where it shines. I wouldn't say it's heavily weighing the control. I'm curious if you agree with that, or if you throw it in the all-around.
No, I do agree it's a control paddle. I was very surprised, like when you get cheaper paddles, budget paddles. One of the things, always the drawbacks is when you have to control it, your
it's a piece of plywood every time. This is the opposite.
This was exactly like you had that nice control to it. Third shots, we were so surprised how well it was effortless.
That's exactly why I had to throw it in the control.
So
right? The drops on it were great.
Totally agree. So let's work through our stations and just talk about this on its own. How did you feel this played on the kitchen?
Yeah, from the kitchen, again, when you were hitting those dinks, it was pretty soft. Mind you, it's not like some of again, we'll say this a few times, like we've tested all of the best paddles in the world, and those control paddles, they do have a larger sweet spot, certainly. I think that's where this could improve a bit still. And it has just a little softer feel.
But let me ask you this, let me interject there. For $47, I think I'm not going to cry too much about it at that point.
I'll say for $47, we have not used a paddle with better control. This has better control than I would say the Friday paddle, in my opinion.
And I think that's where the competition is, right? Those kind of paddles, and it's beating it. It's doing slightly a better job. So,
and the other thing, just while we're comparing it to the Friday, I like that this actually comes with a carbon fiber surface rather than a painted grid over it. So theoretically, that should last longer, which is really cool. And just to finish up from the kitchen line, when I was hitting, I always talk about hitting my backspin on my dinks. It got a decent amount of spin. Maybe it ties into because it's only a 3K carbon fiber. Nothing to write home about, but again, at least it's getting some spin at that price point.
Absolutely right. How would you say your drives were? Yes, it had power. It did surprise us on the power as well. So how were your drives?
Again, the drives were all right. Again, we were more shocked by the control on this paddle, and it was nice to see that, it had like an average, maybe a little bit below average power on it, but not to say that was a bad thing at all, because again, to have any amount of control at this price point is amazing. And then the drives were still pretty good. And then the pop on this paddle was there, but you needed to activate some of that power yourself. It wasn't gonna do the work for you. But again, if you have that power, you can get a good amount of, enough power on the paddle.
Maneuverability. Because did you feel this shape did continue giving you that extra maneuverability?
I think the shape helps. A lot of it goes back to that grip you talked about. It made it a little tougher for me to maneuver, but I think it's actually pretty well balanced right out of the box. So again, outside that little grip part made it a little tougher for me personally, but pretty well balanced paddle.
Again, for us, a $47 paddle comes with a case. We put pictures of that as well. It delivers.
Absolutely.
It doesn't, like, if you're going out there and you want to buy a paddle, if you want to grab this for $47,
For a beginner paddle at the price point, you really can't beat it. Again, a lot of people give praise to the Friday, which is an awesome paddle as well. But I really think this is another option to consider if you want even more control, if that's where you're leaning towards, and a surface that I think will last longer.
Again, we enjoy playing with this paddle. You want to try it, reach out. You really can't go wrong with this for that price point, especially for an entry level or a startup paddle. Please subscribe, please comment. We love hearing from you. Hope to see you in another paddle review.